to our podcast, Keeping It Real.
Welcome back to Keeping It Real. Today's episode is one every parent needs to hear, even if your child is still in diapers.
Yeah, or even if they're already in high school and you're feeling behind.
I want to start with a story, if that's okay with you, Irene.
Mm-hmm.
A father sat across from me recently. His daughter was just accepted into university. Incredible moment. I mean, pride, emotion, celebration. And then came the numbers.
Like tuition, residence, books, even the meal plan, right?
Yeah, exactly. About 24,000 per year all in. Okay. He looked at me and said, "We didn't start an RESP. We always meant to. We just never got around to it."
What? So the only option left was OSAP?
Exactly, like student loans. His daughter would graduate with roughly about $60,000 to $80,000 in debt. And here's what he said that stuck with me: I wanted her to start life ahead instead of starting behind.
So an RESP is not just an account, it's really a head start. It's leverage, if you will. It's strategy. It's parents saying, we're going to remove one financial obstacle before you even understand what that obstacle is.
Yeah, I mean, structurally, it's a government registered education savings account. Parents contribute, the governments add 20% on the first $2,500 per year. Investments grow tax deferred.
Yeah, and that 20% match is called the Canada Education Savings Grant, or the CESG. That means contribute 2,500, the government adds 500 every year, up to really a lifetime max of 7,200 per child.
Let's compare two families, okay? Family A starts when their child is 1 year old and contributes $2,500 annually for 14 years. Family B waits until the child is 10. They try to catch up aggressively.
So family A captures full grants, allowing compounding to work for 17 years and likely accumulates significantly more with really less stress. And family B may still capture grants, but the investment timeline is compressed, meaning higher risk or larger cash flow pressure.
Right, so time does the heavy lifting. Starting early reduces financial strain later.
Let's talk about OSAP. So what does OSAP stand for, Phil?
OSAP is a provincial assistance program here in Ontario. It's an Ontario student assistance program, and it's funded by the government for certain income level families.
Okay, so depending on which province you live in, and in this case, we're talking about Ontario, OSAP is helpful. It exists for access, but it is still debt.
Even if some portions are grants, many students graduate carrying significant loans. Grants, the grant part of it's not really OSAP. OSAP is more of a loan from the government, but they get education grants as well, which they don't have to pay back. And that education grant is given if your grades are extremely high.
Okay.
So now if you're carrying the OSAP loan, that debt impacts obviously credit profile, ability to qualify for a mortgage, risk tolerance and early career decisions, ability to start investing, psychological confidence. Keep in mind, people go to school, now they're getting an OSAP loan for $50,000, $60,000. They're coming out of school, maybe getting a $20 an hour job, right? So I've seen families carry this OSAP loan for 20 years into their future. So that's the problem.
Right. And so when someone graduates debt-free, their first paycheck, as you will, builds wealth. When someone graduates with 60,000 in loans, their first paycheck really services debt. And that difference compounds for decades.
That's right. Let's walk through a structured case study, okay? Two students, same university, same degree. Student A is an RESP funded student. His parents contribute $2,500 annually starting at birth. Total contribution, $45,000. Government grants, $7,200. Growth over 18 years, approximately $25,000. They're already getting a $77,000 head start.
Wow. And and you think about tuition and living expenses being covered, they graduate debt-free. At 22, they start investing $500 a month. By 40 years old, that alone could grow into six figures.
Now, let's go to student B, who's got no RESP, no savings plan. They're fully reliant on a student loan, an OSAP loan, graduates with about $70,000 in debt. Monthly loan repayment, approximately $700 to $900, depending on its structure. Instead of investing $500 a month at 22, they're paying $800 a month in loans.
Wow.
That's a $1,300 swing in net monthly wealth direction. Over 10 years, that gap can exceed $150,000 in net financial difference.
Wow. And that's before we even consider the emotional stress, right?
Absolutely. And keep in mind, now they've actually set this OSAP loan so it's a no interest. But prior, they were charging interest.
Yeah.
So now let's break this down structurally. Individual RESP, one child, one plan, clean and simple.
Family RESP, you have multiple children, one umbrella plan, flexible allocation. If one child doesn't attend school, funds can really shift to a sibling.
Right. The lifetime contribution gap remains $50,000 per child. The lifetime grant cap remains $7,200 per child. Structure doesn't change limits, it changes flexibility.
So parents, which in this case are called subscribers, own the RESP and the children are beneficiaries. The parent controls the contributions, the investments, the timing of the withdrawals.
And when the child enrolls in post-secondary, funds are released. Contributions come out tax-free. Grants and growth are taxed in the student's hands, usually minimal because students have low income. But can it be overfunded, right? And absolutely it can. The lifetime contribution cap is $50,000 per child. Over contributing, it triggers penalties.
But overfunding strategically is also risky, right? If the child doesn't attend school, grants must be returned, growth withdrawn is taxable, plus a 20% additional penalty tax.
Unless you roll it into an RSP, right? If contribution room exists, right, and conditions are met, but that is a backup plan, not the primary strategy.
So, should an RESP come before life insurance? This is where the nuance matters. If a parent has dependents and no protection, life insurance may take priority, okay? If protection exists and cash flow is tight, RESP may be the smarter move because of the 20% match.
Yeah. Protection protects the family from catastrophe, and RESP builds the child's launch pad, right? Yeah. So which comes first depends really on income stability, health, existing coverage, values, long-term financial architecture. There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
So how do you maximize an RESP? So structured strategy, you want to first start immediately after getting the child's social insurance number. You want to contribute at least $2,500 annually if possible. So you can really capture the full grant, the Canadian Education Savings Grant. You want to invest growth oriented early. Okay. And then you also want to reduce the risk gradually after the age of 14 to 15 years old.
And you want to review it annually. RESP should not sit untouched for 18 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, most common mistakes, one of them being like waiting too long.
Yeah. And thinking we'll do it when things settle down.
Right. Maybe not even understanding that the catch-up rules.
Right. And over contributing without strategy.
Yeah. And then not adjusting the risk as the education starts to approach.
Yeah. And a big one here in Ontario anyways, assuming OSAP will handle everything.
Yeah. So here's the bigger conversation, guys. This isn't about avoiding student loans entirely. I mean, it's really about reducing the dependency on them.
Because starting adulthood without debt changes confidence huge. It changes choices. It changes risk tolerance. It changes trajectory.
So an RESP says something quietly powerful. We believe in your future before you even know what your future is.
And the difference between starting at 1 year old versus 11-year-old isn't just numbers, it's opportunity.
Yeah, so really, if you're listening and your child is young, start. And if they're older, start anyway. And if you're behind, well, now you have to build a plan.
Because the worst strategy is literally no strategy.
And that's keeping it real.
People, if today's episode resonated, share it with another parent.
Yeah, because sometimes the most loving financial gift isn't money, it's momentum.
We'll see you next time.
Take care.